A quick look and try to make this quick on how to correctly handicap a spread on a game using the decision dashboard by matchupcenter.com. This is page one. If you notice down the bottom, you have 1, 2, 3, 4 different pages on our decision toolbox, our decision dashboard, excuse me. And what we're going to do is take a quick look and journey through here to show you some very important items that you might want to take a quick look at. If you'll notice, this section on the left-hand side is the statistical numbers and ratings for the two teams that are going to play each other for the November 1 or the beginning of the season through January 5th. This will change as the season moves on. What we're trying to do is capture 30 days worth of activity, or 30 to 45 days of activity in this part, the most recent 30 to 45 days, so we can get a momentum idea of which way the team is moving. Are they moving more positively, or are they moving more negatively? The two teams that are playing each other on this date is North Dakota and Idaho State. And as a quick look, we have two different boxes. One box is more statistics, and this box is available to all people who visit our site. This second box is a rating, which has a lot of proprietary information and formulas and algorithms, which is not available, only available to our subscribers. And the last box you see here is kind of the bet probabilities that are derived out of the box number 2. So take a quick look. We're going to look at North Dakota versus Idaho State. And we can take a quick look over at the comparison to see how they've done since January 5th for the rest of the season. And at this point, we can see that North Dakota scoring a little more, and Idaho State is also scoring a little more. We'll also see that North Dakota is giving up less points, albeit very insignificant and small, but an important element here is Idaho State is giving up much more points, almost 31% more points at home than they were during the beginning of the season. Now, this is your against the spread record, home and away. So North Dakota away is 5-4-1. They were 3-2-1, and so they've gone. We can take a quick math and they've gone 2-2 since that time. Idaho State is 1-4-0 at home, and they were 0-0 at the beginning of the season, or at this point in the season. So they've actually gone 1-4-0 during that stretch of time. Same thing with over and unders. We can get an idea, are they scoring more, are they scoring less, as opposed to what the spread and what the market is setting as the prices. Idaho State is an under team, looks like, where North Dakota State looks like they are more of an over team looking at that. Finally, we're going to look at the RPI, and we're going to see that North Dakota is 490, where Idaho State is 394, which tells us obviously that North Dakota is ranked higher from an RPI perspective. And if we look over here, we can see they're actually up 10% over this point in the season. So they've moved from the 253 team to 191, showing that they have positive movement. And this team really is about flat, staying in the same place, moving less than 3.7%, or right at 3.7%, but still to the positive. We can do the same thing looking at these with interseason from our ratings and our proprietary information. And we'll take a look and see that North Dakota is scoring 4% more, which is kind of in line with what their actual real numbers are. And Idaho State scoring a little bit more based on the ratings, the offensive rating. However, on a defensive end, well, they're also giving up more, which they were, but they're giving up a little bit more from that standpoint. And we have a 4.2% negative. North Dakota is giving up a little as well. Now you see an NA here, and the reason that is because during this point in time, we did not have a home offensive rebounding rating. So there must be an error in the formula, or they just didn't have one at that point in time. So it looks like to me they did play at home. So I'm saying that we're probably going to be looking at an error here, but we can still just move over that quickly. So we got defensive rebounding, 9%. So you look at the rebounding, North Dakota's rebounding better, the scoring about the same, they're defending a little bit better. And we come down with a rating of 37.7. Now, Brad Powers, the top 100 rater, did not rate any team, so neither team made that. But we look up at our final score. We got North Dakota 78 against a 72 for Idaho, and the line is North Dakota minus 5.5. Now, at this point in the season, it looks like Idaho State plus 5.5 would have been the better bet. But through this point in the season, it looks like through the full season, North Dakota State is a better bet at 5%. And that's kind of borne out in the fact that these numbers are a little bit higher than Idaho State. Similarly, on the under, they both were under. This had a 63% chance of happening versus 42%. So the unders lost steam, whereas North Dakota State has picked up significant steam. Now we're going to go over to handicap metrics. This is additional metrics that can be used. And just a quick glimpse, you can see this is all green. Green is good, a lot of red here. So that tells me right now that I'm looking at North Dakota thinking, okay, well, that looks strong. Let's see why. Assist per field goal. This helps determine which team scores more frequently as a unit as opposed to individualistic style. Obviously, this is more of a green, so it's a good color, 52%, whereas Idaho State looks like they're not really playing well as a unit. Turnovers per possessions, we got a green number here. That's better, obviously, than they're turning over 18%, which is still a decent, is okay number, but 19% you can see the color changing to amber. Red is bad, green is good. Steals, they're stealing at 9.2. They're turning the ball over. So this function tells me we're looking probably at North Dakota being able to pick off a few steals that they from this team that does not protect the ball that well. Steals per possession, this number is nice and high, 10%. But at the amber number at 18.5, and you see it's not a big difference in those two numbers, but yet the color tells us this is more closer to the norm. This is a bigger number, so they may get a few more steals as well, but I would expect North Dakota to probably prosper in that category. Adjusted tempo really is more for the over and under. Just tells you how quickly they play the game. And it looks like North Dakota plays a little bit quicker, obviously, than Idaho State. Now, effective possession ratios. This tells you what did they do with the ball when they had the ball each possession. And these guys are .922. As you can tell, the color is a nice color. It's not, deep green, or is it even Kelly green, but it's it's a little bit past yellow towards the green. And this is a red number, which is a bad number, telling us that Idaho State does not protect the ball or does not score as often with the ball as does North Dakota. Now, imputed free throws per team is a formula that we have that tells us how many free throws we kind of expect the teams to have based on their statistics. So, in a green number, 23 is obviously over the average, 19 being the red numbers. Below the average free throw percentage, we're looking at North Dakota in the green is 73.4. Very good team free throw percentage. And this number is 65.7, not good. So we're looking at the net free throw. Obviously, North Dakota is would be favored in that category from our perspective. This is a very important number to look at. Percentage of points. What you're looking for is not the number. You don't want a bigger number, let's say in the 3-pointers versus 2-pointers. You're looking for balance. You're looking for a team that can score inside and outside and not just one. So these two numbers here, now if they were both green right here, that'd be wonderful, but they're not. They're going to be, and they're not, probably never going to be exactly green because of depending on the real ratio. But both of them being in the green category is positive. This being red and green is negative, meaning they get most of their points from the outside and not enough from the inside. Extra scoring chance game. This is an important number as well. It tells you how many times did they get more shots than they would have because they either stole the ball or because they got an offensive rebound. So it's really an important number to look at. Here we have a green number, but it's negative. So they're not really positive or negative. But if you look at Idaho State, negative 3.5. Floor percentage also kind of relates to the effective ratio. And what you're looking for is that both of these would kind of support each other. So we see effective ratio in a yellow. We see extra scoring chance more of a green. So that's positive. Here we see a red and we see another red. So that means it really is negative. There's just further support that this team, North Dakota, is going to have more chances and protect the ball and probably effectively score more. Floor play is really kind of a speed of play. It looks like that North Dakota is obviously pushing the ball well, and they're getting it. They're getting about 80 different looks at the bucket. That's kind of not so much looks, but how many times that ball is going to the hoop. Whereas Idaho State is less. Now, this is a new and a very, very useful statistic while we're in conference play. How are they doing against the spread? And what that tells you is two things. It tells you how the market is valuing them and how they're performing against the market. So as we look at this, we see the Vegas, they're beating the spread. They've gone 3-2 against the spread. And here it's 1-4. So obviously 1-4 means that Vegas may be overestimating them, or they're certainly underperforming to the market expectations. While this team is actually about even, or maybe even just a little bit better than what market expectations. So all of this information and the front information already leads me to believe that North Dakota is our play here. As we come forward here, now we're going to look at our next group, which is the player stats. I'm not going to get into this too much because I want to try to get this done in a relatively short time. But these purple, these colored boxes are injuries, and you can look and see what those injuries are. And we can see here Idaho State has got a number of injuries, only meaningful really to these two guys because they're given 20 and 17 minutes and 7 and 5 points. This injury has nothing. So now, in the injury regard, we're looking at a stronger performance from North Dakota, or they have less things to worry about than, say, does Idaho State. Then we can go over to the schedule, and you can take a look at the schedule. The conference games are highlighted, and we can take a look and see. But just looking at against the spread, we can see a lot of green here in North Dakota and a lot of red. Now, I would encourage you to go further into this and look at this deeply. I can tell you we are able to go through a game in 5 to 8 minutes and determine if we have what we like. Now, lastly, the new thing we added into our site is that now we like North Dakota. We're going to go and we're going to click on the press issuance of that game, and that's going to bring up and tell us a little bit about the game notes. We'll go down here and we'll see what does the coaches say. What are they looking at? Now, this is North Dakota, and we can go in here and find out what happened. Last time you talk about players. One of the things I'm always looking for in this is what do the players say? Read their body language. Read their words. What does their words underlying mean? Again, we can also go to Idaho State and take a look at Idaho State's press clippings and what are they saying about the game. They're hosting them, and we know that's coming up, and so we can look and see scouting and what kind of information can we glean from here to help us make a decision. So in essence, all of this information together, the interseason comparison, the the handicapping metrics, the injury reports, and the schedule and the results together used in one fell swoop on every game that is presented will help you mitigate your risk, will help you increase your investment returns, and help you win at playing college basketball. So now this isn't a guarantee, but what we're looking to do is find the best value for our money. And in our regard, this game, North Dakota, is your best value, giving up 5 points against Idaho State. Now look at the probability. It's only 50%, but we're not looking only at probabilities. We want this in the direction of the bet we want to make. So if this said Idaho State plus 5.5 at 58%, and all these other elements still existed, we might back off of it because we're not really going to go against our probabilities. We want everything moving in the right direction. And when it does, we're going to be more successful in our investment. Hope you enjoyed this. If you have any questions, you can call me at 832-646-3007 or drop us an email at CS, stands for customer service, at matchupcenter.com. I can obviously be directly communicated to at Chuck at matchupcenter.com. Thank you very much for your time. Best of luck to you. Let's go make some money.